Go live. 3, 2, 1. Hi, everybody. This is Angelique Tsang from the Superwomen Babes Club. And as you know, it is Valentine's week. And because this is a very, very big commercial day for lots of people, but also a week full of expectations and hopes and dreams and disillusions, I thought it would be great to actually put this topic of calling in the one, soulmates, and love in the limelight. And so I asked Maxine, who is a calling in the one coach, to actually enlighten us about the process of calling in the one. And there are actually 5 steps that she's going to take us through during this week. And today she's going to talk about the first step. So Maxine, could you please enlighten us? Welcome, Maxine.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Hi, Angelique.
Hi.
Yes, the first step. So the first step is actually preparing for love. It's about setting a intention to have happy, healthy love in your life, and really setting that intention so it's your North Star, so you know exactly what you're aiming for.
And I love the hashtag Happy Healthy Love that you actually use in Facebook, on Instagram, because I think a lot of the time when we look at love, it's like dysfunctional love or desperate love or codependent love or pathetic love, or needy love or, blaming.
Romantic love.
Yeah, traumatic love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All those things. Yeah, it's interesting. My mentor, Catherine Woodward Thomas, she talks about happy, healthy love all the time. And it's really coming from that emphasis where you're creating a relationship that's a really enriched, deepened relationship, where there's a priority to protect the relationship and the health of the relationship in terms of the relational field, how you communicate about the relationship, the vision you have for the relationship together. And it all starts, obviously, with happy, healthy love that's within yourself, as opposed to, as you say, dysfunctional love, or, a lot of the love that we learn, perhaps through our various experiences in life, is that love is very unhealthy, very unsupportive. And actually, I think there's 75% of marriages where people are quite ambivalent about the marriage. So part of that stems from the fact that they don't actually believe that, or they're not experiencing a real depth of connection and communication that inspires one to want to even work at the relationship.
Yeah. Do you think we actually have enough role models for happy, healthy love? Because I think, if I ask people or even myself, how many examples do you have of happy, healthy love? It's not like many examples that actually come up in my mind.
That's a really good question, because I think that is part of the problem. I think people look around, if you look at that statistic, it's 75% of people in marriages, and they're kind of ambivalent about the outcome of that marriage, or, obviously they didn't go into the marriage from that perspective, but if they're looking at the relationships around them, and they're looking at the way relationships are, they're thinking, it's not that inspiring. It's not really a role model that they want to follow. And so that's why a lot of people feel disheartened and disappointed and possibly, let down, all those emotions that come along with, even looking for a relationship. The idea with the setting your intention for happy, healthy love is that you really ignite within yourself a reference and a vision for a relationship that really inspires you, where you have a deep sense of self-love and ability to create a miracle in your love life, to really have a transformation and an awakening to a different level of love that you've had previously.
Yeah. And so how does this process work of people, allowing people to prepare themselves for love with this intention? One of the things that you were bringing up was like, how does our culture impact us, our ability to create loving relationships? So how would this process help people to basically maybe recognize the cultural influences, etc.?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things here. So one has to begin to look at, well, what is the substance of love? You know, what are the qualities that really are important to you and that you are looking to experience in a love relationship? So, you know, I think I can probably speak, I know I can speak for myself, obviously, but a lot of healthy relationships are based around validation, acceptance, non-judgment, respect, a deep honoring of each other within the relationship. So if you look at those qualities, obviously you've got the ones like trust, mutual respect, kindness, you know, is an important quality, appreciation, those type of qualities. But it's really about opening your heart to those qualities. And I don't know, I think we're beginning to see a shift in the way people are relating to each other. I think in the old, you know, when I say the old days, my children love it when I say the old days because they think I'm from the old days. But when we used to get into relationships, we went into relationships initially for financial security, particularly women. They had to be, you know, married. It was unacceptable to have marriage, children out of wedlock, and all those sort of things. But now, so therefore, we were looking for relationships in order to, you know, to take care of ourselves. Now, because women are a large part of the workforce, women have the ability to do all the different things from voting to financial independence, buying their own homes, they've got mortgages, all these different things. We're looking for a relationship now to fulfill us at a deep, deep, deep level. Whereas previously, our parents and our grandparents looked for relationships for different reasons. So I think that, yes, they still wanted love. I'm not saying they didn't want love, but they sort of, perhaps one of the focuses in the relationship was more about, you know, being taken care of and those type of things. Well, we've learned to take care of ourselves. Women don't need a relationship just for that perspective now. So we're looking to have a deeper aspect of our needs met from a deep soul perspective when we go into relationships now. And I think that's what's happening, and that's the shift in our culture where, you know, with divorce and everything, we're saying, do you know what? I want more than this. And part of having more than this is for you really to begin to embody the vision of what love fulfilled looks like, feels like, and means to you.
Yeah. Would you say the calling into one process also takes into account that maybe women will have a very different wish list than men, because men biologically and, you know, hormonally and basically because of their wiring will want different things than women, because I can imagine that, you know, men have very different needs than women, because women love sharing and connection and talking a lot, whereas men might just want companionship or want the physical aspects of a relationship and just like somebody who's their best friend who is loyal to them. Do you understand what I mean? There's this like how does somebody, when they prepare themselves, take into account the needs of this Martian, let's say you're a woman, or this woman from Venus if you're a man?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and you know, I know the John Gray books. Men are different, women are different. I agree from that perspective. We have different energies and we have different wants and needs. I think particularly perhaps, you know, from a daily perspective. But I don't know. I still believe we're all human. Okay, so I actually really do believe that, you know, at a deep soul level, we really do want the same things. So I believe that, you know, obviously not everybody, because everybody's going to have their, well, no, I think at a soul level, everybody wants to experience love and a deep sense of love and a sense of being special to someone else, a sense of being, you know, deeply loved and desired and wanted by someone else, and to have that experience of being validated and witnessed and yeah, to be able to show up. Not everybody can do that because of their personal makeup, because of their life experience, because of the things that happened, their wounding.
Yes.
But I do think in terms of, you know, does a woman sit there and create a vision? Would that look different to a man's vision? On some level, yes, it may. If, you know, if you're talking about perhaps the, you know, does a woman sit there and see the vision and she sees them walking down the beach? Would a man see the same vision? Would a man sort of, would they, you know, how would each other see it? But I think on a deep level, they essentially want the same thing.
Yeah.
That's my view.
And of course, when we talk about all these different, like, you know, different needs that Tony Robbins talks about, you know, significance, love, certainty, variety, contribution, etc. There are ways to make it work. And even when you talk about the love languages, there's ways that you can bypass, you know, those deep needs and translate it into serving your beloved's needs. Maybe, you know, I think, would you say that when you're preparing for love, you need to go to a place where you're actually willing to give love instead of just to receive? Because I mean, that would probably not work, right? To have a vision where you're just gonna say, okay, I'm gonna get all of this love that I never got from my parents or my ex-wife or ex-husband. Now I'm going to get it from this perfect soulmate who's going to make me feel complete. Would you say, no, actually, there's a lot of maturity that comes into play where people actually, you know, need to learn that now it is about filling themselves up and then sharing it with somebody else?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You can't go into a relationship to get. You have to go into a relationship to give and to share yourself. Sorry, that's 12 minutes. So you have to be in that place in a relationship where you're willing to expand your sense of self. That's what relationships allow us to do. They give us the opportunity for an expanded version of love. And this is what's interesting about calling in the one process is that, you know, when you set that intention for love, okay, yes, you have the vision of your partner and what you're calling in, but actually you have the opportunity in preparing for love and extending yourself to an awakening love. It happens in all relationships. It's not just about your relationship with your romantic, you know, your other half. It's about you opening your heart and experiencing love at a deeper level with everybody that you meet. And this is why you get the opportunity to be able to practice the learnings of how you are showing up in relationships. So if you're always coming into a relationship with a view of what am I going to get from this relationship, that is going to be mirrored back to you. And that is going to be your learning ground. You know, you have to learn to relate from a different orientation of your relationships. So from your full sense of self, from your completeness. And what is interesting is you get to practice that with everybody. So you have an expanded experience of love with all the people in your life. So it's not just, you know, the man or the woman that you're trying to attract into your life. It's an opportunity to really have a true, you know, expanded experience where you are feeling loved and valued within yourself, and you have that love and appreciation for everybody. Does that, you know, it opens you up. That's what it really does. It opens you up to a whole different level of love.
I think this is very reassuring because I think when after all the work that I've done, I think sometimes, you know, we tend to be scared as coaches or therapists ourselves that some people get into this work and have a very, let's say, narrow-minded view of what love would look like in the ideal world, but actually it's not about that one-sided, I'm going to get this and feel whole. Actually, it's very much about you're planting a lot of seeds in your garden to actually let love grow in many, many forms, where before you would like, maybe you would like look at another garden and say, how can I get the flowers from that other garden? Now you're going to start planting the seeds for love in your own garden and in all your relationships, and especially in relationship to seeing how you can generate love, how it can come from within. So just the last question, or the last two questions. What specific actions can people take to prepare for love? And how does calling in the one help them with that?
Well, as you know, calling in the one is a 7-week process. So we're just talking about the first 5 steps this week. And, you know, the very first step in preparing for love is to set that intention to have an awakening to love in your life, and to open yourself up to a vision for love, which allows you to expand your consciousness around love and your sense of self. So it's really about opening your heart. I mean, you know, this first week is about looking at the patterns and beginning to really be open to inquire into yourself as to how am I the source of my previous patterns in love? Like, how am I showing up? How have I showed up in relationships? And then set yourself a very clear intention to create a vision for love in your life, where you have an expanded experience of yourself and others, and really opening your heart up to love. And that's a challenge for some people, just to even do that. And the reason we do that at the beginning is because we are working backwards from the vision. So we're saying, you know, well, if this is your vision of love, what is it that you need to start to unpack, start to let go of, start to embrace in your life, start to show up differently? So we're working from the vision backwards.
Yeah. What stops people from seeing their own patterns in their love life? Is it because they don't have a vision, and then they don't even know where they're going? I mean, could you enlighten us of what stops people, or even ourselves, from seeing our patterns?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a number of reasons. I think there's a couple of things that happen when people have been perhaps single for a long time. They, you know, and they've been in the dating game for a long time, and they've not had the connections that they'd love to have, or they've not met the type of people that they'd love to meet. I think they can become very disappointed, and therefore they're orientating in a place of hopelessness around it. They feel powerless to change the situation. And the first sort of step is really reorientating yourself to a place of possibility. And, you know, it can be scary. It's frightening for people to suddenly sort of say, do you know what, I'm going to invest my heart and soul into, you know, calling in the one, when I've had so much disappointment or fear, they may have fears around it. So it's really what stops people is, you know, possibly unconscious fears about being hurt, and that the fact that, you know, they may face rejection and more disappointment. And I think that can be enough for people to sort of say, do you know what, I'm going to give up on this whole thing about, you know, falling in love and calling in a soulmate, because I've been hurt in the past.
Yeah. And I see that, so like even in my own life, where if you go dating, and if you look back at your dating history, you sometimes feel, my God, was I stupid or blind, or was I all of them? Like who we are, was I all these people? Oh my God. And actually, there's actually a lot of, we have more evidence of bad choices in our love life, because apparently than good choices. And of course, with the even with the good relationships that ended, we will always, there's more negativity attached in terms of feelings and associations to love than to other any area in life, I would say. So there's a lot of hurdles we have to overcome to actually believe in the possible, and to believe in something else, and to have a vision beyond our factual reality or experience.
Well, and that's the thing. Most people get caught up in their current circumstances and how their current circumstances or their past experience, and they get caught up in that place, and therefore they keep perpetuating that by creating from that place in their lives. And the biggest thing around creating any change, and this is not just in your love life, it's whether it's in your finances, it's whether if you know, in your career, in your health, is you have to go beyond your current circumstances in order to create a vision of what you would like to materialize and make manifest. You know, consciousness is, you know, you have to bring consciousness down into matter. And part of that is creating the vision, the thoughts, the beliefs, everything prior to that in order to bring it down into your physical reality.
Yeah. It just makes me think of basically the first principle in the science of getting rich which is chapter 4, which is you need to hold your mind open for the possibility of something bigger than what you have experienced so far. And that is, we're talking then in the spirit of innovation, we're talking in the spirit of creation, of creating that something that wasn't there before. And even if your whole family, everybody, let's say, divorced or, you know, got married got married 10 times, got divorced 20 times, you know, you still have the seed in you to create something that wasn't there before, but you need to see it. And then you need to invest your energy in it. And then you need to become this other person. But the vision and the preparation comes before that, which is all about believing in the possibility of the yet unseen or the yet not experienced hope or the hopeful future. 100%.
You hit the nail on the head. You know, when he talks about that, that is why we start from the vision and go backwards, because you have to plant that seed and you have to be able to create that vision of love fulfilled and what that is to you in order to bring it into manifestation.
No.
And it's powerful. It's transformational. It's really powerful.
I can imagine.
It's fun.
I've just
it's not a serious thing, it's a fun thing.
I can just say, Maxine, from, you know, this is the 3rd day that we're talking, and I've just from watching some videos with Catherine and just basically talking to you, it has just basically done a lot in my mind about, you know, where am I, you know, in terms of my vision and my own blocks and my own blind spots. And it's been really enlightening. I'm really enjoying this little webinar series. So I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for having
it's a pleasure. Thank you.
Myself. So for the viewers at home, when you're watching the recording, Maxine is available for discovery sessions. She is giving like really discounted discovery sessions of 30 minutes or 60 minutes to people that want to know more. And the money that she's going to make with it, they are heavily discounted prices from £16 to £32. And they are going to use to feed a child for at least a month. So if you want to book a session with Maxine to know more whether working with her or whether the calling into one process is for you, please contact me or her to book your session. I think it's an absolutely great offer because Maxine, her hourly rates are much higher and she's a very busy woman. So Maxine, what can we look forward to tomorrow?
Yep. So tomorrow we are looking at step 2, which is all about completions. So we're just going to have a discussion around completions and why that's important and why that's the second part of the step. So I'll be giving you some enlightening information around that. And then the other thing I'd just say is also that if people want to go to Maxine Clancy Coaching, just like my page, then they can obviously keep in contact with other stuff that I'll be sharing as well this week.
Absolutely. And your Instagram is also really cool.
Yeah, lots of quotes on my Instagram. So I look forward to tomorrow, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Angelique, for your time.
This is Maxine. So we'll just add the Facebook page and the Instagram under this Facebook Live so that people can find it. Yeah,
brilliant. That'll be lovely. And if anyone's got any questions, just pop them in the Facebook Live and happy to answer them tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, thank you everybody for joining, and we'll see
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Have a lovely evening. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.